Hi, and welcome back to the This Calls for Confetti YouTube channel. I'm Lisa, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here with me. In today's video, I'll be showcasing our fabulous retro stripe stencil set and sharing some of my tips and tricks on how to make the most of this versatile tool. If you haven't already, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you'll never miss out on more exciting content coming your way. Here in front of us, we have the retro stripe stencil set. This fabulous 5-piece layering stencil set is incredibly versatile, and I am beyond excited to share it with you. As a fellow crafter, one of the things that thrills me most about this stencil is its convenience. No masking tape or masking paper needed. I've thoughtfully designed this set to include everything you need except for a few magnets or a bit of repositionable tape to keep the stencil securely in place while you work. Let's dive into this set. I know I said you only need magnets and tape to keep your stencil in place, and that's true. But here's the thing. If you're working with stencils that have thin lines, stencil spray is a game changer. I've got a video coming up soon where I'll test 3 different sprays, and guess what? I think I might have found a spray that doesn't leave sticky residue on your cardstock. Now you're going to want to subscribe to the newsletter and to this channel so you don't miss out on that video. I'm aligning my prepped stencil over a 4¼ by 5½ inch piece of cardstock. After aligning the stencil over the cardstock, lightly run your fingers across each of those lines to ensure they're securely in place. Included in this set, we have 3 shapes: an arched rectangle, a circle, and then a rectangle. Now, I'm going to use the arched rectangle during the demonstration. I also want to point out that as each of these stencils has the A2 panel size etched on it, it's incredibly easy to center these on your card panel. Now, this is where the magnets or the low tack tape come in handy. I'm going to hold the stencil in place with Scotch removable tape. A piece to the top and a piece across the bottom keeps both of my hands free for me to do what I want to do. And I want to introduce to you the masking stencil. Now you can use this stencil to create stripes on cardstock or different designs, whatever you want to do. It was initially created so that you could use it to mask off the stripes, so you don't have to worry about masking paper or masking tape. You could just use what you have here in the stencil set and just start stenciling. All right, so this stencil was created so that you had space at the top, space at the bottom, and then there's that space in the center that's going to lay across the lines. It's sized perfectly. Those 2 open stripes are sized perfectly so that they don't interfere with the stripes from our first stencil we laid down. They actually lay on top of those stripes. So you're going to get that full stripe stenciled in. We're going to start with our worn lipstick Distress Oxide ink, and we're just going to take a blender brush and lay this ink down. Now, once I have the ink laid down on the top stripe, I'm going to grab my scattered straw Distress Oxide ink and lay it down in the next stripe that's open. Then we can take this stencil and quickly set it to the side, wipe it clean, reposition it, and continue adding your layers as you work down. Now, the one thing that I love most about this is it does eliminate the need for masking tape. Masking tape, I love masking tape. It has its purpose in our craft rooms, but I've found over the years working with stencils that I would rather not have to mask off a bunch of things just to be able to ink up a couple of areas in a stencil. And how do I go about creating or designing a stencil that we don't need so much masking tape just to create a background, right? And this is the answer I came up with for this stencil set. Now, our forest landscape stencil, it also has a mask in it, and I'm going to do a video on that later this week, and you'll be able to check it out as well. I want to show you how you can also use this with any other stencil you have. We have our new Bigfoot stencil. I'm absolutely loving this stencil. It goes so great with the Bigfoot themed products that we just released today. And I just want to show you how easy it is to lay down any shape that you want to and create a fun stripe design in that shape. So here I'm using some Catherine Pooler inks. I used eucalyptus and sage, and I'm using skylight to create just a green and blue background. I'm also going to bring in a couple of our forest landscape stencils and add some trees to the bottom of this so you can see how easy it is to work with this. I'm not even going to remove the foot. In fact, I recommend that when you're doing this, you don't remove your shape until you're completely done with your stenciling. So I'm just going to darken up this bottom area here a little bit more. I don't use these inks very often, so there was a little bit of me having to get used to these inks because they're so saturated, but they're amazing inks. So here's one stencil from our forest landscape stencil set that just released. And I'm just going to ink the trees up right over the foot and the stripes because we want to keep those in our design. So here you can see where the trees have stenciled, and I'm going to bring in one more tree, and you see how we have two stencils in that forest stencil set that have trees on them. And like I said, later in the week we'll get a video for that, but right now I just want you to see how easy it is to create with a shape and the retro stripe stencil. It's just so much fun. And real quick there, we created this fun background. Now you can cut the Bigfoot stencil out. Super easy to fussy cut this out. I'm going to cut it out on screen with you real quick, and I'm going to give you some tips. What I've learned is when you're fussy cutting, you want to hold your scissors as straight up and down as you possibly can. I know sometimes I have a bad habit of tilting my scissors to the side, but if you can hold them straight up and down as best as you can, and you don't want to move your scissors, you want to move the paper. So see how I'm working the paper with my left hand, and I'm only moving the scissors, closing them to do the cutting action, right? So you see how quickly that cut out? So super simple to cut out. Move the paper, not your scissors. And voila, we have a foot that's now ready to make a fun card with either our Sentimental Sasquatch stamp set or our Bigfoot silhouette die. And that's going to wrap us up for today. Let me know what you think about the new Retro Stripes layering stencil down in the comments below. I have links in the description box for you. Don't forget you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. We appreciate you so much for joining us. Until next time, please take care.